I'm here today to talk to you about LessonNote, an effective observation tool that is going to be useful for teachers, administrators, or even higher ed, teacher ed faculty members seeking to do a little bit better job on classroom observations. Let's go ahead and take a look at the features of LessonNote. When you open the app, you already have 3 classroom templates that you can choose from. However, if you're working with new teachers, you may want to give them the ability to design their own classroom layout by clicking the plus sign beside Classroom. And we're going to take a moment just to design a quick and easy classroom layout just by pressing the buttons at the bottom and placing them where you want them to be on the actual screen. So I'm going to click One Teacher, have my display, add a doorway, a group, 2 female students, 2 male students. And don't worry about if your layout gets a little bit cluttered. You do have the ability by pressing and holding down on the avatar or image that you want to clean up your model. One note here is to make sure that your teacher or student teacher labels who is student 1, 2, 3, and 4, so that way you can be more accurate when you're doing notes. By pressing done, I have my classroom layout saved on the right, and now I can add my lesson on the left. I'm going to select an existing classroom from my database, and I'm going to start taking my notes. I can name them if I want to. I'll call this one Fractions, and start taking notes. You will notice that I can start my lesson timer at the top, and this allows me to, again, record the experience that I'm observing. I'm also going to note that this in yellow is an entire class activity at this time. By clicking on the stylus at the bottom, I can begin doing note-taking using the stylus option or adding images. By clicking on the image, you have the ability to take a live shot, say cheese, or using an image that has already been cataloged in your photo area. I can now start documenting the activities that are going on in the classroom by just noting that the teacher is now talking. Notice that it also gave me a new note-taking area. You will need to use a stylus because at this time the application does not allow you to do keyboarding, so my handwriting is going to be a little bit messy. But the teacher is going over procedures, and you notice I had to click on the stylus option. And she's now displaying my lovely cupcake image. And she's asking a question of how many cupcakes there are. Number of cupcakes. The cool thing about LessonNote is I do have the ability to make annotations on the actual image. So I can circle that there are 2 delicious chocolate cupcakes in red. Now maybe during my lesson the teacher has to have an interaction with student number 2 because there was misbehavior. I can note that as well as put a flag if that's something that I want to discuss after the lesson is over. Now the teacher redirects her attention to the whole group, and because they're going to be doing group work. And again, they're going to use a image, and maybe this is coming from a poster off the wall, to count the number of seats that are empty. And again, I can use my stylus to circle the area that I want them to specifically focus on. At this time, the teacher is moving around back to student 2 just to observe, over to student 3 to assist. And now that my lesson and my group work is done, we're going to go back to the entire class for our summary. Back to the whole class for summary. So again, LessonNote has the great features of allowing you to even preview your features and to give a clear understanding of what has happened when you're observing. Play around with it. It is free, and I hope that this is an app that will serve you well in your teaching, learning, and observation needs.